Okay, so my name is Ana Jimenez, and I am your math teacher or math coach for the rest of the semester. And I just wanted to take an opportunity to walk you through the course homepage. I find that most of the questions that become obvious semester, and I just wanted to take an opportunity to walk you through the course homepage. I find that most of the questions that become obvious semester, and I just wanted to take an opportunity to walk you through the course homepage. Hi. So, sorry about that. Anywhere you'd like to go. So I just want to make sure that any obstacles that come up, typically they come up at the very beginning, and so I want to clean those up and make sure I answer any questions you have so that you start strong and you don't get stuck at any spot at the beginning, and then it just be smooth sailing. That's my hope, and then you can just focus on the math. So what I'm planning on going over today is essentially the course homepage, what that looks like, the course structure and the modules and the mastery that I'm requiring, the folders that you'll be exposed to, and the checklists that I want you to be doing, what my math lab is and how to use that, how to get into it, and the work requirements, which is also kind of new, especially some students think, oh, the work's on the computer, then I don't have to show any work, so I want to talk about those. What the proctored exams are, pretty much any accredited institution will require proctored exams for their online courses, which essentially just ensures that the person who signed up for the course is taking the course and learning the material. And so we do have proctored exams, and then various resources that hopefully you will use throughout the semester to help you be successful. So that's what I'm going to go over in a nutshell. First thing I'd like for you to do, if you haven't already, is go ahead and log on to your course homepage so that you can also follow along on your computer. So just log into MyPima once you get into the internet. I would definitely recommend anything other than Internet Explorer, so Chrome or Firefox or anything else really. And then log into MyPima. And we're going to start there actually. So once you log into MyPima, I am going to ask you to create a shortcut to your page. So down here, if you scroll down, there's a thing called a launch pad. And in your launch pad, I want you to add a button that is for D2L, because that's where all of your courses are. And so if you don't already have a D2L button in your Launchpad, you should add it. You add it by putting a plus symbol here. So just click on the plus, find the button that says D2L, click on it so that it's got a green check mark, and then scroll back to the top. Don't worry about the left-hand side. Just scroll back to the top, and this button should then appear. And then that's your shortcut to all of your classes, but especially this class. Once you get your course homepage, it should look something like this. I actually have 2 courses starting today. So your CRN is up here at the top, and that might be your class, but both of the course homepages look exactly the same. Should look like this. Is everybody there? For those of you, if you're viewing online, feel free to click something in the sign in and click in the live chat if you have any questions, and I'll make sure I answer those. So this is your course homepage. Starts off with updates at the top, announcements. Hopefully you've had a chance to just watch that video. It's a short video, but it gives you a quick overview of the course. And then course content. The only folder that you should see available is your Start Here folder. So all of your folders will be in here, and there will be modular, but essentially you have to complete one module to unlock the next one. So you want to make sure that you're going through the course. You can go as quickly as you want. The only dates that are firm are the proctored exams on your calendar. All other assignments are open for you, so you can work as fast as you'd like. I do have certain deadlines, though, that I set up so that you can finish the coursework in time to take the tests and then finish all of the coursework by the end of the course. So that's what those deadlines are for. But if you click Start Here, you will see your very first task checklist, and that's how this course is set up. I want you to use your checklists to go through each thing and check them off as you do them. Every single thing, then your new folder will open up. So you have to complete everything and then just check it off as you go through. Some of you have already sent me emails, so thank you for that. The syllabus and the course contract is first. So I do want you to read that syllabus. Make sure you understand all of the policies and you agree to them. Staying enrolled in my course means that you're comfortable with the policies and you agree to adhere to them. Also means that I agree to adhere to them. So you have some expectations of me as well. I can't make up grading policies. It's all in your syllabus. Okay, so you will go ahead and finish that first checklist, and then once you go through all of each one of these items, then your new folder will open up for you. Okay, any questions about the checklist? So I do want to talk a little bit about how the course is structured. It is mastery based. So I have found in my teaching that students perform better in math and actually enjoy it more when they're understanding it. And oftentimes understanding it is because you really have a strong foundation. And so, for example, on the homework assignments, when you read your syllabus, you'll see that in order to proceed to the next homework assignment, you have to get 90% or better on a homework assignment to proceed. In my math lab, it's very easy to do that because if you have, so you get like 3 tries to get the right answer. And if you happen to get it wrong, then you can click similar exercise and it'll regenerate a new problem for you to try. Ideally, once you understand it, master it, and then you get your points back and you get it right. So most students get 100% on the homework because there's really no reason to leave something wrong. It just means you don't understand something and you need to understand it for the test anyway. So you might as well make sure that you know how to do that problem. And so make sure that you're able to do that. I'm going to go ahead and show you my requirements for the homework. This is actually my requirement, not just for the homework, but also for any of your assignments. It's really about practicing. So there's work requirements. When you go into Module 1, so I'll go ahead and click that. Here's the checklist for Module 1. The way things are set up, there's a learning process. There's no due date. You can watch videos I've provided for you. You can read the e-text. So you don't need a hard copy of the textbook. You have access to the e-text through my math lab. You do need to purchase my math lab. But that e-text is in there. You can read that. Whatever your best way of learning is, make sure you're learning the material. And then once you've learned the material, you do the homework. Notice it says use the work requirements to increase your understanding. So here's an example of what I mean by that. This is a sample of what I'm expecting. So this is what the computer is going to look like. It'll have the assignment and the problem, and it'll just have a blank. So I expect you to use this like a textbook, right? So this is the problem. You write down the problem. You do all of your work. You get an answer. The nice thing about my math lab, though, is that instead of just doing all of the problems and then turning them in and waiting for me to grade it a week later and okay, you actually take that answer and you plug it in, and my math lab will tell you whether it's right or wrong. So the benefit of that is that if you happen to be doing something incorrect, you can catch it right away, and you're not doing multiple problems incorrectly. Make sure that you get that fixed right away. If you happen to get it wrong, you have all of your work written, so you can hopefully find your mistake and fix it, and then get a new answer and put your right answer here. Again, you have 3 tries before it's marked wrong, and then it gives you a brand new problem that's simple for this one for you to work out. If you get stuck, maybe you've done it 2 times and you cannot find your mistake and you're really nervous and whatever, you can take a picture of that and email it to me or text it to me and say, I can't find my mistake, but my math lab says it's wrong. Okay, and so I can hopefully give you some help on that. I'll try and get back to you as soon as I can. All right. So those are the requirements. I want you to practice showing your work in an organized fashion like this, because although I will not be collecting homework, I won't be collecting this from your homework. I won't be collecting this when you write it down on your quiz. But when you take the proctored exams, which are worth a ton of points, I will be collecting your work then. And I'll be grading your work and making sure that everything matches and everything looks good. If you get the wrong answer, I'll look at your work and hopefully give you some partial credit because maybe you did everything right but you missed a sign. Okay, so the more clear you can be in your work, and that's a skill. You want to practice that before you take the test. So I want to make sure that you're really good at that skill so that by the time you take the test, you know exactly how to write your work out clearly so that I can grade it easily. Okay. Any questions about the work requirement? Any comments in the live chat? So maybe we'll move on. I do want to have you click on My Math Lab because you will be using My Math Lab. I know you can't see all of these modules because you haven't unlocked them yet. Remember, you have to finish a module and then it will unlock the next folder. But you have actually 16 folders totally, 16 modules. Some of them are actually tests where the whole point of the module is to study for the test and go take the test. That's all I want you to do for that module. But then the other modules are learning the content that you will be testing on. Total of 16 modules, and that's including that final exam. Okay. In My Math Lab, if you would go ahead and click that for me. This is not what you're going to see. This is actually the instructor view of the course, but it should be relatively similar. Once you go through all the parts and pieces, it's probably going to say something like you don't have access. Here's the terms and agreements. You have to click you accept in order to move forward. So please do that. I want everybody to get into My Math Lab right now. If you don't have an access code, that's okay, because there is a link for temporary 14-day access. And so everybody should be in My Math Lab before this orientation is over so that you can get started right away. So once you accept those terms, you're going to create an account. If you already have an account, because maybe you took this course before, My Math Lab is tied to a textbook. So if you actually use My Math Lab and to get this textbook, then you'll already have an account. Otherwise, you have to create an account. Also, the nice thing is that this does go with the textbook, and this is the same textbook that you'll be using in Math 97 if you're planning on moving on. So you won't have to buy an access code. This is a one-time purchase. When you create your account, please, please, please make sure that the email that you put in is an email that you check regularly and that there are no typos. When you use My Math Lab to communicate with me, I'm going to hit reply. It's going to go to that email. If that email is wrong, if there's a typo and it goes into black space, like you'll never get replies from me. You'll think I'm a complete jerk and that I'm not responding, but I really am. So please make sure that you're checking that email regularly and that it's correct when you type it in. And once you do that and you click the link, it says buy now or buy later. I think underneath there's a link that says temporary access for 14 days. You're going to click that. And then it should ask if you want to go to your course, and you're going to say yes, and this is where you're going to go. So it should look something like this. Is everybody able to access My Math Lab? Okay. Take a minute to create. Once you create your account, you should see the various assignments. The first assignment that I'm going to want you to do, and it's on your very first task list, is the orientation assignment. The orientation assignment actually doesn't have much mathematics in it. It's mostly how do you enter your math answer. So it's just teaching you how to use the online tool. If your answer is a fraction or a mixed number or has a power or an exponent on it or a root, it just shows you the different tools, how to graph a line, etc., so that you can make sure when you are being tested on mathematical content that you're able to enter your answers correctly and easily. So that's your very first assignment that I'm going to ask you to be doing, and that's part of your first task list that's actually due today. Okay. Any questions at all about my math lab? Question. Okay, so just quick review. So the course homepage, we talked about how to get there. Hopefully you have a shortcut in your Launchpad. Course structure, it is modular, and there is mastery requirement. I talked about the 90% on the homework. You will have quizzes that you will also take on my math lab, which you'll be taking, again, kind of like homework on your own. That requires 80% mastery to move on, but you have 3 attempts to get that. You cannot get it after 3 attempts. You just need to contact me because we need to go over some stuff. But ideally, my expectation is you would simulate the testing environment, put all your notes away, take the quiz, see how well you have actually mastered the material. Hopefully you get 80% or better. If you don't, you've got all of your work. You can find your mistake. You can see what it was that you did wrong. Learn from that. Mistakes are not bad. They grow your brain. It's a good thing to make mistakes because we learn from those. Okay, and then you would take it again, and hopefully the second time you get 80% or better. If not, you're welcome to take your work to the tutoring center or come and see me, talk to me so that I can help you so that by the time you're taking it the 3rd time, you really, really do understand the material and you're solid with it so you can get that 80% or better. So really by the 3rd attempt, you should be able to get that 80%. All right, and then folders and checklists. Again, every single folder will have an information document, but then it'll also have a checklist. So you just go through the checklist step by step. You know exactly what you need to do. Everyone should be in my math lab, at least with a temporary access. Sometimes there are issues where if this ever happens, I just want you to know, it's not just for my class, not just for my math lab. If you click on a link and nothing happens, check your pop-up windows. Because you might have like a red X in that URL bar, and that means it's blocking your pop-ups. And so you have to allow for pop-ups, and then you'll be able to click on a link and something will happen. So make sure that your pop-ups are enabled. Work requirements, I already talked about. I want you to write everything out. Proctored exams. So I do want to talk a little bit about how your grades are calculated, so you can take a look at that and then I think that's it. Then I'll be ready to move on. So, let me open up your syllabus. There's lots of information in your syllabus. I'm actually going to focus on the grade and instructor policies right now. So please read the entire syllabus thoroughly. I'm a very visual learner, so I have the graph in here. So your homework is in my math lab, and that's 10% of your final grade. That's going to be great because you're going to get 90% or better on that, whether you like it or not. That's my policy. Okay. So quizzes are with 10% of your final grade. And again, that's also going to be great. You're going to have 80% or better on those. When you take the quiz, some students have taken a quiz and their first try, they get like 84 and they're like, no, I really want to get an A. Take it again. I'll always take your highest grade. There's no reason not to take it again. You get 3 shots. So work towards that 100% because that is worth 10% of your grade. So the more points you can get, the better. Discussion postings and uploaded module problems. So you do have discussion boards that I do expect you to participate in. You do need to post on 2 different days. You want to have, it's really not difficult. These are kind of gimme points. The first one is you just read the discussion prompt and answer it and follow the directions and answer it. And then the second post is responding to someone else's post. That's it. You can respond to multiple posts, that's fine. It does need to be on 2 separate days. I have found that if I don't require the 2 separate days, everybody does it on the last day. And so instead of, for that one person who posts on the first and they're waiting and they get their full points because nobody else is posting until the last day, and then everybody's, it's like a week-long window, and I don't want everyone to have only a 1-day window to make sure that they're getting their full points. So please make sure you're checking that more than once. So that's the discussion. Module assignments, those assignments I'm actually going to be asking you to turn in your work. It's one problem. It doesn't happen on every module, so you'll have to take a look at your checklist because it'll say turn in your module assignment. Used to be called Dropbox. So if you see the word Dropbox, that's what I'm talking about. It's the module assignments that you upload, okay? And so that, I'll give you a problem. You'll work it out just like the work requirements, like you've been doing in your homework and you're really good at. And then you will upload it to the computer. How do you upload it? There's a couple of different ways you can do it. You can scan, and if you're on a campus, all of the libraries have scanners for students to use for free. So you're welcome to use that. I have an app on my phone called Office Lens that allows you to take a picture and converts it to a PDF. Just upload that. And it does need to be a PDF, so I do recommend that. If you look in your checklist, it'll have instructions on how to also use a Word document to convert that to a PDF. So there's different ways. If you're ever stuck, let me know and I'll try and talk you through it so that we can make sure that you're getting your points, okay? I do recommend doing those assignments, the module assignments, after you've done your homework because I want you to practice it and feel really good about it, and then work the problem I give you and turn that in, okay? And then proctored exams are worth 75% of your grade. Again, really common for accredited institutions to use proctored exams. It's our way of making sure that students are held accountable and that there isn't someone else doing your work for you. So you do need to go to an approved exam location. All of the PIMA campuses have a testing center, so you can use that. Find a location that's close to you. If that doesn't work for you, I have some students who look at the exam window and go, oh my gosh, I'm going to be out of town. See if you can find any sort of college or university that has a testing center and you can use their testing facility. We can send them the test and the test information. So just to let you know, you can do that. The third option is an online option. It's a webcam option called ProctorU. And essentially that's a paid service, but you can purchase that service and essentially they have a proctor who watches you while you take your test. So those are some options for you. I have more information about that in your syllabus, and if you have other questions, just let me know. I'm happy to give you more information on any of those. But that's worth 75% of your grade. Those are high stakes tests, but hopefully you're acing your homework and you really understand it, and you're acing all of your quizzes, and you've tested yourself, and your quiz you don't have your notes or anything with you while you're taking your quiz. You're really testing yourself. Taking the proctor exam, you should be fine. I will also hold study sessions before proctored exams so that it's kind of like this, so that if you would like some one-on-one, you can also set up an appointment with me so that I can help you and make sure you are ready to ace this test, because it's totally doable. See it every semester. Okay. All right. And that's how your grade is calculated. Any questions about it?
I think only take one test.
That's a great question. Yes, the proctored exam's one shot. Yes. And it will be on my math lab, so you'll click on it. I'll have instructions. Let me go ahead and pull that up so you can see what I'm talking about. I'll pull up your first test 1 folder. So the test 1 information, it tells you exactly when the window is. And so you do need to make sure that you're scheduling time in your life to take the test during that testing window. What should you do to prepare? Gives you some examples of some study strategies. Make sure you contact your testing facility so that you know all of their policies and stuff before you get there. And then the procedure is you just go to the testing location, make sure you bring your pencil, bring a 4-function calculator with you. Some testing centers have their own, but if they don't, I want you to be without a calculator. Just the 4-function basic calculator is allowed, nothing more than that. So if you have a graphing calculator, scientific, please don't bring it, won't be allowed on the test. Your photo ID, and a clean copy of your algebra formula sheet. So I do allow formula sheet. Everybody has the same sheet. I provide it so that you don't have to spend a whole lot of time memorizing formulas. You do need to know how to use the formulas once you need them on the test, okay? And then what happens is the testing center will push you to a computer. You'll log in just like you have been doing for your homework and your quizzes on my math lab. You'll see test 1, so you'll click on that, and it'll ask for a password. You don't have the password, but the testing center staff will. And so they'll input the password. You'll write all of your work just like you've been doing on your homework and your quizzes. And then when you're done, you'll hit submit. It'll tell you the grade my math lab thinks you got. Okay, but that's not necessarily your final grade because I actually haven't graded your work yet. And so usually I have students go up at least 1 letter grade after I go through their work because they're making careless mistakes. And it's not that they don't know what they're doing, so I can give you guys a little bit of points back. So the clearer your work is, the easier it is for me to find your work and make sure I'm giving you those points. But anyways, on the test you'll submit, it'll tell you the My Math Lab grade. You'll take your scratch paper and you will hand it to the testing center staff person. They'll file it and give it to me so that I can grade. Okay. Any other questions? That was a long answer to your question, but I was hoping it's useful for you. No other questions? So the last thing I want to talk about are some of the resources that you have at your fingertips. So NetTutor is available to you 24/7. Connects you to a live tutor. So feel free to use that. I think it says you have a limit of 10 hours. That's not true. Everybody has 10 hours, but if you run out, just let me know and we can get you more. The college has paid for everybody to have at least 10 hours, but you can have more, you just need to ask for them. So please don't think that you have to ration your time with the tutor, okay? But that's available for you anytime. I do want you to communicate with me. Please ask me questions, but if you're emailing me at like 10 o'clock at night, I'm not going to get back to you right away. And if that's your only window of time to do your math work, you might want to go on to NetTutor and ask a tutor instead so that you can get immediate help. The other thing I recommend is you download, if you have a smartphone, download the Brightspace Pulse app. Essentially what that does is it pushes out any announcements. It also pushes out anything on your calendar that's due. And it gives you a little alarm on your phone so that you don't fall behind. I think that's one of the easiest things that can happen in an online math course because you're not going to class. It kind of gets put on the back burner and you forget, oh my gosh, I had a discussion due. Oh my gosh, I have the test, I have. And I'd rather that not happen so that I have all of your assignments in the calendar so that Brightspace Pulse will push that out to you and let you know this is due tomorrow, okay? So I highly recommend both of those resources. I'm also a resource, so please make sure that you're reaching out to me. You can text me, you can email me, you can set up appointments with me. I have face-to-face office hours in the afternoon on Tuesdays and Thursdays, but I also have evening virtual office hours between 7 and 9 in the evening because I notice that's when most of my students, my online students, are actually working. So that is by appointment only and it's virtual. So I'll be doing that from my home and you can do that from wherever you have internet access. And we can work on the problems together and make sure you get through it. How do you grade our work if you use ProctorU? Great question, Mason. When you use ProctorU, if you choose ProctorU, I will give you a set of instructions, and one of the things I will ask you to do is to, as soon as you log off with ProctorU, because it gives a timestamp of when you log in and when you log off, as soon as you log off, I just want you to send me your scratch paper. You can take a picture of it and use the Office Lens app, or you can, like I said before, be scan things at any of the FEMA campuses. The libraries all have scanners. But whatever you need to do, get your work to me. I did have a student last semester who never sent me their work, and so I could never give them any partial credit. And it broke my heart because I felt like pretty certain that they would have gotten higher scores on their tests if they would just send me their work. So please make sure you're sending me your work. I think that's it. It's 6:30, so I'm going to go ahead and sign off. But if you have questions, please send them in emails. And those of you who are here, feel free to hang out as long as you need if you have any questions.